Rael'than, an alien officer of the Lakar Dominion, watched the emergency lights flicker in the dim cockpit of his ship, Thackrain. It was supposed to be a simple survey mission, far from dangerous territory, yet stranded in an unknown sector, with all systems mysteriously locked down. Rael'than was desperate. He clutched the comms panel and sent out a distress call to the closest neutral outpost, expecting to find a Lakar engineer or one of their allies. Instead, he was told there was only one option: a human mechanic named Ethan Riggs, stationed just a few hours away. Rael'than hesitated. Humans were Deathworlders, resourceful but crude. Yet, here he was with no choice. He grumbled and accepted the offer. Ethan Riggs arrived at the docking bay with a relaxed swagger, a toolkit slung over his shoulder. He took in the sight of Rael'than, tall and regal, his silvery blue skin shining under the dim emergency lights, and offered a hand. "Ethan Riggs, at your service," he said with a grin. Rael'than ignored the gesture, his voice cool and formal. "The Thackrain has suffered a catastrophic system failure. Our engineers suggested a lockout, but none have been able to lift it. I hope this isn't too far beyond your skills." Ethan chuckled, unfazed by the alien's frosty demeanor. "Well, I've yet to meet a machine I couldn't fix. Let's see what's going on with your ship." Inside the control room, holographic panels blinked erratically, showing unreadable streams of alien code. Ethan's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Nice setup," he said, admiring the advanced Lakar tech. "Mind if I poke around?" Rael'than gave a terse nod, standing back as Ethan pried open a hidden panel beneath the main console. Ethan's hands moved expertly over the controls, his eyes following the unfamiliar script with surprising ease. After a moment, he paused, frowning. "Hey, did you know you've got a secondary interface buried down here? Looks like an older system trying to override the main functions." Rael'than's brows drew together in confusion. "No, that shouldn't be possible. The Thackrain is a state-of-the-art exploratory vessel. Why would it have hidden controls?" Ethan tapped a few more keys, and a surge of energy pulsed through the ship. Lights dimmed, then came back at twice their normal brightness. A deep, robotic voice filled the room. "Security override engaged. Activating primary weapons systems." Rael'than's eyes went wide. Weapon systems? This ship was never designed for combat. Ethan blinked, caught between awe and alarm as the interface transformed before them, displaying complex weapon arrays and tactical schematics. "Well, looks like you got a little more firepower than you thought." He scanned the control panel, realizing that the Thackrain was now in a battle mode, complete with targeting scanners, missile systems, and what appeared to be an experimental energy cannon. Rael'than backed away from the console, his voice barely a whisper. "The Lakar Dominion's engineers assured us this was a survey ship. We're not a warfaring species." Ethan shook his head. "Somebody either didn't get the memo or kept this a secret. Whatever you've been told, your ship's got enough weaponry to take on a whole fleet." The ship's voice continued. "Awaiting primary target designation. Siege mode engaged. Prepare for interstellar assault." Rael'than shivered. He had always known the Dominion's research councils were ambitious, but a hidden weapon system in an exploratory vessel? It was a breach of Lakar protocol, and worse, a threat to his people's peaceful values. "We must deactivate this immediately," Rael'than insisted, voice tinged with panic. Ethan nodded, glancing at the screen. "Yeah, good idea. But we'll need to disable the siege protocol entirely. Whoever designed this didn't want it turned off easily. There's an encryption lock across all core systems." Rael'than stepped aside, trusting Ethan's expertise, watching as the human's fingers flew over the controls, navigating through layers of code, bypassing firewalls, and defusing digital tripwires with practiced ease. After several tense minutes, Ethan leaned back with a satisfied grin. "All right, I found the root command, the one that's telling the ship to go into siege mode. Looks like it's got a deactivation switch. Right here." Ethan's hand hovered over the panel, and he gave Rael'than a reassuring nod. He pressed the button. The ship's lights dimmed, and the voice softened. "Siege mode disengaged. Default exploratory mode restored." Rael'than exhaled a long breath of relief, feeling the weight lift from his shoulders. The violent aura of the ship faded, returning to its original peaceful state. He stared at Ethan, a mixture of gratitude and awe in his eyes. "I owe you, Ethan Riggs, not just for saving my ship, but for revealing a truth I might never have known. This weaponry could have brought unimaginable consequences upon my people." Ethan shrugged, flashing his characteristic grin. "Just doing my job, but I'd suggest taking this up with the Dominion. Seems like someone's got a hidden agenda." Rael'than nodded solemnly. "I'll ensure the Council hears of this. If our explorers are secretly equipped with weapons, our claim of peace is meaningless. And it's only thanks to you, a human mechanic, that we discovered this deception." As Ethan gathered his tools, he shot Rael'than a wink. "Always happy to help. Just another day on the job." As he departed, Rael'than watched him go, realizing the Lakar Dominion's alliance with humanity had proven invaluable. Humans had a talent for uncovering hidden truths, and that might be more powerful than any weapon his people could build. For the first time, he felt a genuine admiration for these Deathworlders, especially the one who had just saved him from his own people's darkest secret.